Ukraine prepared for any kind of Russian provocation. Territorial defense of Kharkiv. An official of Kharkiv Territorial Defense said that they are ready for all kinds of Russian attacks and also acknowledged the support received from the locals. A senior official from the Territorial Defense of Kharkiv speaking exclusively to said that they are ready for any kind of Russian provocation and also acknowledged the support received from the locals. Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv has been pummeled by strikes day and night since Russian forces attempted to seize it at the start of the invasion. Igor from Territorial Defense of the city of Kharkiv said, "The city of Kharkiv was heavily damaged, including the central areas but mostly the north and south of the city. The bombardments from the Russian forces are now decreasing. More than half the population of Kharkiv left the city during the initial days of the bombardment, but currently, the tendency is that people are coming back. The railway stations are tense, where people are still staying under the subways to protect themselves from the bombardment, but the situation in the city is not safe and tense. However, it is getting better. It's true there is a possibility of Russian provocation, however, the Ukrainian army, government and territorial defense are already prepared for that and we are ready to resist any attacks." On May 7, a video emerged of one of the most advanced Russian tank T-90M Proriev tank lying destroyed by the Ukrainian forces in the Staroye-Saltiv area of the Kharkiv region, whereas the Russians claim they bombed a large stockpile of Western military equipment from the US and European countries near the Bohodukov railway station in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Ukraine claims liberation of Kharkiv's Ruskalazovo village. Meanwhile, Ukraine on April 29 claimed the capture of the Ruskalazovo village in Kharkiv from the Russian forces, informed the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine's Ministry of Defense on Telegram. Ukraine. The assault unit of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense, which reclaimed the village, was headed by Colonel General Oleksandr Syrsky, the commander of the Ukrainian ground forces. According to a statement issued by the main intelligence directorate, Ruskalazovo is a strategic place as it is located on the Kharkiv-Belgorod highway. Earlier, Ukraine had also alleged Russia has started mobilizing the state's official currency, ruble, in the captured areas of Kharkiv. Ukrainian forces are pursuing a counteroffensive near the northeast Kharkiv region, which the U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War says could soon free the city from the artillery range of Russian forces. Russia's defense ministry has claimed to have destroyed a large stockpile of military equipment from the U.S. and European countries in the Kharkiv region. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials said all women and children have been evacuated from the Azovstal iron and steel works plant in Mariupol. A dress rehearsal for Russia's annual Victory Day is underway on Saturday. May 9 will mark the anniversary of the then Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. WHO says it stands with people of Ukraine, urges Russia to end the war. The chief of the World Health Organization is appealing to Russia to end its offensive on Ukraine. "We continue to call on the Russian Federation to stop this war," WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said in a live media briefing on Saturday. Tedros said the WHO stands with all the people of Ukraine and vowed to support the government in its efforts to treat the injured, maintain health services, and repair and strengthen Ukraine's health systems. Thus far, the organization has verified 200 attacks on healthcare facilities in Ukraine since the war began. These attacks must stop. Healthcare is never a target, Tedros said. Since Russia invaded Ukraine, the WHO has delivered trauma and emergency supplies, which they say have been put to use in over 15,000. The medicines and healthcare equipment donated to the cause have served 650,000 people, and the group will donate over 20 ambulances on Sunday. According to the WHO, the organization has also provided 15 diesel generators to provide electricity to hospitals and health facilities, including in some of the newly accessible regions of the country, including Kyiv. Russia says its missiles hit airfields in Odessa region, U.S. equipment near Kharkiv. Russia's defense ministry on Saturday said high-precision missiles had destroyed Ukrainian aircraft at airfields in the Artsy, Odessa and Voznesensk regions, and that its Iskander missiles had hit US and European equipment near Kharkiv. Ukraine earlier said 4 missiles had hit the Odessa region on Saturday, without causing casualties. Other missiles striking Odessa on Saturday had hit a furniture factory in a residential area, while the other 2 struck an already damaged runway strip, it said. Nuclear missiles have rolled through Moscow's Red Square in a chilling warning to the West as dictator Vladimir Putin prepares for his annual Victory Day parade on Monday. The warring president will hope to celebrate a triumph in Ukraine at the annual celebration, which marks Russia's victory over Nazi Germany in World War II, raising fears of increased attacks on the war-torn country over the thermonuclear Rs-24 Yars ballistic missile, which experts believe can carry up to 10 warheads, was seen taking pride and joy as it was driven past rows of armed guards on a 16-wheeler vehicle during rehearsals on Saturday. The intercontinental weapon, which weighs 49.6 tons, can travel up to 24,500 km per hour and is capable of hitting targets up to 12,000 km away, meaning it could strike London or New York within. The weapon of mass destruction was followed closely by several Iskander-M missile launchers during a rehearsal for the annual event, which is set to take place on Monday and which could see British fighters paraded as prisoners of. Jubilant soldiers and servicewomen were seen marching outside the Kremlin today in preparation for the celebration as they waved Russian flags, performed salutes and smiled at the cameras. 8 MiG-29 fighters also flew past in a Z formation, the insignia used by Putin's military as a symbol of its military action in Ukraine, which critics have likened to the swastika used by the Nazis. Meanwhile, just 1,200 kilometers away, Ukrainian soldiers are preparing to make their last stand against Putin's warring forces in the strategic port city of Mariupol, where hundreds of civilians are cowering for their lives in tunnels underneath a steel mill as they attempt a last. Ukraine's first Deputy Interior Minister Yevhen Yanin warned that the symbolic date of Victory Day is like bread to a bull for Putin, who desperately needs to secure a victory, adding that while the world remembers victims of war, Russia is preparing to dance over bones. It comes after the Ukraine-based Center for Defense Strategies said that 500 captured fighters could be forced to go through Red Square for cameras. 3 British fighters could be among the 500 after Agnes Lynn, 28, and Sean Pinner, 48, were captured by Russian forces in the besieged city of Mariupol last month while they were fighting alongside Ukrainian defense.